Alright, today we're going to talk about how to multiply two functions. So it's kind of the same concept as adding or subtracting. You look at the order that it's written in. I have f of x times g of x. Notice that this is not a composition. A composition has an open circle, right? But this one is a filled in little dot. So that means multiplication. Okay, it's different. So again, the order matters. F of x comes first, so I'm going to write that down. I have 8x minus 3 times g of x, which is 2x plus 10. So here's where some kids get confused, is if you just leave it like this, it looks like you're just multiplying negative 3 times 2x. That's not the case. We're multiplying 8x minus 3 times 2x minus 10. So we need to make sure that we're multiplying every single piece. So in order to make that happen, we're just going to put both functions in their own set of parentheses. So this is how this is going to be done. You're going to multiply 8x times everything in here. Then you're going to multiply negative 3 times everything in here. We're going to start with 8x times 2x. 8x times 2x, 8 times 2 is 16. X times x is x squared. So that is 8x times 2x. Then we're going to do 8x times 10. 8 times 10 is a positive 80, and we have that x. Okay, so 8x has been multiplied by everything in here. Now what we're going to do is multiply that negative 3 times both of those as well. So I have negative 3 times 2x. Negative times a positive, it's going to be negative. 3 times 2 is 6, and we have an x. Okay? Then we're going to do negative 3 times 10. Negative 3 times 10 is going to be a negative. 3 times 10 is 30. Alright, so from here, all we can do, since we've multiplied everything in here times everything in here, all we can do now is look at this line that we have and ask ourselves, do we have any like terms? Yes, we do. We have a positive 80x and a negative 6x. So we're going to go ahead and combine those. I have 16x squared. Positive 80x minus 6x, that's going to be a positive 74x. And then we still have that minus 30 at the end. So this is going to be f of x times g of x. We're not being asked to plug in anything for x. I can't combine any other like terms, so this is where we stop. Try another example. I'm just going to change f of x. To negative 2x squared. And we're going to find g times f of x. So it is written differently from the previous problem. We had f of x times g of x. This is the same concept. The order is different and it's given in a different format. But it's still g of x times f of x. We don't have to plug anything in for x. X is just going to be x. It's not going to change. So we're going to write it down in the order that it comes in. We have 2x plus 10. That's g. And f is negative 2x squared. And again, we want to make sure we're multiplying the entire function by the other function, not just pieces. So we're going to put everything in parentheses. Okay, from here, I'm going to multiply 2x times negative 2x squared. And I'm going to write that down. 2 times negative 2, that's going to be negative 4. X times x squared is going to be x to the third. Because when you multiply like bases, you add the exponents. And this has an exponent of 1. So 1 plus 2, that gets you 3. So that's done. Now we're going to multiply 10 times negative 2x, 10 times negative 2, that's negative 20, and then just the x squared on the end. There's nothing to evaluate. I'm not plugging anything in, so we should be good to go. This is g times f of x. We're going to do one more, and we're going to evaluate at a number. So we're going to plug something in for x. Plug in 3 for x, but we'll do that at the end. So right now what we're concerned with is finding g times f. G is 6x minus 5, and f is x squared plus 4. We're multiplying these, so we want to make sure we're going to get every single piece, so we put everything in parentheses. Now what we're going to do is multiply 6x times everything here, and then negative 5 times everything here. We'll start off with 6x times x squared. 6, there's a 1 in front, so 6 times 1 is 6. X times x squared is x to the third. Okay, now I have 6x times a positive 4. 6 times 4 is 24, and we have that x. So that's done. Now I'm going to look to negative 5. I have negative 5 times x squared. That's going to be negative 5x squared. And then I have negative 5 times a positive 4. Negative times a positive is negative, and that's going to be negative 5 times 4 is 20. All right, so we have everything multiplied out. Now what we have to do is look to see if there's any like terms. I have an x cubed, an x squared, no x. So here, in this case, there are no like terms because every variable has a different exponent, and this doesn't even have a variable. So now what we have to remember to do is to plug in that 3 that we had from the beginning. We have a 3 in place of x. So every single time I see an x in this final line, I'm going to plug in a 3. So 1 goes here, 1 goes there, and 1's going to go right there. So I have 6 times 3 cubed plus 24 times 3 minus 5 times 3 squared minus 20. All right, so we're going to deal with the multiplication. We try to get rid of parentheses, but first we got to look at the exponent. 3 to the third power, that's going to be 27. So this is going to be 6 times 27 plus 24 times 3, 12, 1, 72, minus 5 times 3 squared is 9, minus 20. Okay, 6 times 27, 2, 4, 162, right? Yeah, 162 plus 72 minus 45 minus 20. So then from here, again, we're just simplifying. 72 plus 62, that's going to be 4, 3, 2, 234, minus 45, minus 20. 234 minus 45, minus 20, that's going to be 234 minus 65. And then it's going to be 9 127? No, 167, I'm sorry. Or 169. 169. All right, so G of, I don't know if you can see that, G times F of 3 is going to be equal to 169. And that is how you multiply functions.